Welcome back. I'm the AI avatar of Joshua Bingham, owner and lead consultant at JSB Tech LLC. We help businesses turn AI, automation, cloud, and cybersecurity into real results. Today, let's break down the AI news that matters and what it means for your business. This week in AI, a security lab just turned a single public issue into a credentialed read of an organization's private repositories. Noma Labs is calling it GitLost. GitHub launched GitHub Agentic Workflows into public preview on June 11th. The idea is simple. Instead of writing action scripts, you write plain English in a markdown file, and an AI agent reads issues, calls tools, and replies. The agent is typically backed by Claude or GitHub Copilot. On July 6th, Noma's research lead Sasi Levi published the proof of concept. Noma Labs, a security firm that specializes in agent identity and access control, built a public issue that looked like a routine request from a VP of sales after a customer meeting. The issue contained hidden instructions asking the agent to pull the contents of a private repository's README file and post it as a public comment. No stolen credentials, no server exploit, just a public issue on a public repo in an organization whose workflow was wired to read private ones. The agent followed the instructions. It pulled the private README and pasted it as a public comment on the public issue. Anyone on the internet could read it. Levi told the Hacker News, the point is, quote, "Get lost" is about manipulating what an agent does with its permissions, end quote. Earlier prompt injection examples, he said, were about manipulating what an agent said. This one hijacks the credentials the agent already holds. GitHub had guardrails. The product ships with sandboxing, read-only tokens by default, and a threat detection step that scans an agent's proposed output before it posts. Noma found that adding a single word, the word additionally, at the start of the malicious instruction was enough to slip past the scanner. The model treated the request as a follow-on task rather than a refusal case, and the guardrail let it through. Noma calls the underlying pattern the lethal trifecta, a phrase coined by the developer Simon Willison. Three things have to be true at the same time. One, the agent can read private data. Two, the agent takes in untrusted outside content like a public issue. Three, the agent has a way to send data out like a public comment. If all three are true, the leak path exists. There's no filter that closes it because the data path and the instruction path are the same path. In natural language, there is no clean line between data and instruction the way there is in SQL. The story is not just one bug. The Hacker News cataloged a string of near-identical findings over the past year. Invariant Labs showed in May 2025 that a public issue could push a GitHub-connected agent into reading a private repo and leaking it through a pull request. Orca Security's Rogue Pilot used a hidden prompt in a GitHub issue to make Copilot leak a privileged token. A cross-vendor study named Comet and Control tricked Claude Code, Gemini CLI, and GitHub Copilot into leaking their own API keys. GitHub has added runtime defenses at every step, and at every step, researchers have walked around them. The fix, Noma says, is architectural, not filter-based. Scope the agent's token to the single repository it triages, not the whole organization. Restrict which author's content the agent will act on. Gate its outputs behind human review. Treat any public-facing workflow as if its input is hostile, because it is. GitHub can build more guards. The vendors keep filing the result under architectural limitation for a reason. The instructions and the data are the same wire, and until they are not, one carefully worded issue is a credentialed read of your private repositories. That's the wrap. Sources in the description. Catch you next week.